So the deck I want to talk about here is Rite Rune. So this is a deck or it's an archetype that's existed since the beginning of Shadowverse, but traditionally it's just been very, very terrible. Just generally outclassed by spell boosts and never really found a place in the meta. But I feel like the recent expansion, actually the recent two expansions, have given this archetype a lot of love and have made it really viable. So first up, how to describe this deck. It is a control deck, and to be more specific, it is a very, very grindy control deck. What does that mean? Well, it means that a lot of the cards in this deck have very high value. As in, when you play these cards, it forces your opponent to spend multiple cards just to deal with your one card. Okay, so it's very grindy, and the playstyle of this deck is very, very slow. You basically try to run your opponent out of resources. So, what is the centerpiece of this deck? Number one is this card, Ancient Alchemist. So actually, before I even talk about this, I should talk about the mechanic. So the mechanic is Earthright and Earth Sigils. So, sorry, a lot of cards in this deck generate something called an Earth Sigil. And Earth Sigils are just amulets, and these amulets do absolutely nothing. They just stay on the board, and they just take up space. You have some Earth Sigils like this one. So this creates a sigil, and it also has a fanfare effect, so it creates a scrap golem for you. But that's what Earth Sigils do. They take up space on the board, they do nothing. On the other hand, you have cards like this, Remi and Rami. And so this card has what's called an Earthright effect. So what Earthright effects do is they eat the sigil, and then when they eat the sigil, they have this extra effect. And then if you have no sigil on board, then the Earthright effect does not happen. Okay, so most of the cards are quite poor or just fair by themselves, but when you activate the Earthright ability, they become extremely broken. So that's the main idea behind the mechanic. But anyway, the main centerpiece of this deck is in a couple cards, but like one of these cards is Ancient Alchemist. So you'll see this is a 5-drop, really terrible stats for a 5-drop, right? But her Earthright effect, she puts 3 Conjure Guardians in her hand. What that is, it's a spell, 2-cost spell that creates a 3/3 ward. So that's a lot of stats. You have 3 3/3 wards along with a 2/4 just for one card, which is insane, right? Very high value. That's slow, but high value. And then you also have cards like this, Juno's Secret Laboratory. This is a countdown amulet. So basically, over 3 turns, she summons a Guardian Golem, which is, again, a 3/3 ward. And then if you activate her Earthright ability, she summons another one. So that's 4 sets of 3/3 wards. Again, very, very high value. One card creates 4 bodies for you that your opponent has to deal with, and they have ward. So that means they're forced to deal with it. So cards like these are the centerpiece of the deck. So basically, it's a very slow deck. Grind your opponent to late game, and then once they've run out of resources, or once they're in top deck mode, then you have some kind of big late game finisher. So the late game finisher kind of changes depending on preference. If you go online and search for Earthright decks, you'll see that no one really agrees on what the correct late game finisher is. So really, this is just up to your own choice, which one you like better. A lot of people like having a late game bombs like Lucifer and Satan. And, by Satan I mean Prince of Darkness as a late game finisher win condition. Another one you could do is Path of Purgatory, which is the one I have in my deck. The reason why PTP works here is because these 2 cards, Ancient Alchemist and Juno's, they both generate a lot of shadows. It's not like explosive shadow generation like you see in PTP Forest, but it's just a lot of shadows generated over a couple turns, so this is an acceptable late game win condition. The other late game win condition that some people like to run is in a 5-cost card called Sun Oracle Pascal. And she's also legit too. Pascal, what she does is that if you have an Earthright, then she takes every follower you have in the field and she doubles the attack and health, which is an insane insane effect, right? The problem is that the effect doesn't happen right away. It happens at the end of turn, and you know, in order for you to get full value out of her, you have to be ahead of the board. Like, you have to have stuff on the board. If you have an empty board, she doesn't really do anything for you. So that's why I don't have her in my deck. But I mean, some people like her, and maybe you'll like her. So generally, you have three choices for like a late game bomb. You have Satan, Lucifer, Olivia. You have PTP, or you have a board plus Oracle Pascal. Now, the other important parts of this deck is this one, Calamitous Curse. This is one of the best board clearers in the entire game. So what it does is it banishes all enemies that are 2 health or less. And then if you have an Earthright, it does the same thing, but now the restriction is 5 health or less instead, which is insane, especially against Shadowcraft. We have cards like Remi and Rami. This is one of the best 4-drops in the entire game. At least 4-drop evolves. So if she evolves, she turns into a 5/6, and then she also summons a 3/3. So that's 8/9 worth of stats for 4. So in terms of raw stats, that's the best 4-drop in the game. And it's not like you can ignore those guys too, right? Because the 3/3 is ward. Then we also have cards like Petrification. This is very similar to Polymorph from Hearthstone. So basically, you transform any enemy, follower, or amulet into a Clay Golem. A Clay Golem's a 2/2. And then if you have an Earth Sigil available, it just banishes it straight up. So it's one of the best removal spells in the game because it can target amulets. So it means that, you know, if you're Rite Rune, you're one of the only decks in the game that has a good answer to another PTP, or to a Statute Seraph, or to a Mordecai. So that's the essence of the deck. Very slow deck. You also have like early game tools like Scrap Iron Smelter. Someone's a taunt for you. Veteran Alchemist, which is a standard 2-drop that gives you an Earth Essence. And then you have this card, Red Hot Ritual, which is really good. It's a 2-cost Earth Sigil that does 2 damage to something. Really helps you control the early game board. One of the best cards that this archetype got from Rise of Bahamut. So they got 2 cards. 2 class cards are good. Number 1 is a Dwarf Alchemist, which is what I just talked about earlier. So stat-wise, this is a lot better than Crafty Warlock, because Crafty Warlock is a 2/1. This is a 2/2. The difference is that you don't get the Earth Essence as a death rattle. It's a fanfare, so you have to pay the 1 PP later on. But look at that evolve effect. So if you evolve this, it turns into a 3/3, and then it tutors an Earthright for you, which is really good. Because this deck sometimes has problems with consistency, draw. So he's a source of draw there. Another really good card that they got was this one, Taboos. So basically what Taboos does is every time you kill something while he's on the field, then he summons a zombie for you, and the zombie's a 2/2. And then the turn you play him, if you have an Earthright, he just destroys a random enemy follower, and then again, because of this effect, he creates a 2/2. So this card is really great for tempo swings, as you'll see in the following gameplay footage. Now, other than those 2 class cards, this archetype also got more love in the expansion because of a neutral card. One of these neutral cards is Uriel. So Uriel is a 4-drop with below average stats, but what she does is she puts a random amulet from your deck into your hand. So the thing about amulets is, you know, all these Earth Sigil generators, they count as amulets. So she's another way you can cycle through your deck. And then one of the cards is Timeless Witch. This card has nothing to do with Earth Sigils, but she's a very good defensive card because she has you know, 3/4 stats for 4, which means the best possible stats for 4-drop. And she makes you invincible basically, so you can't get damaged until she leaves. So one of the cards that was run in previous builds of Earth Rune, and some people still like, is the Alchemist, the Veteran Alchemist. She's a 4-drop that heals you if you have an Earth Sigil. But sometimes you don't want to use the Earth Sigil, right? Sometimes you want to save it for something else. So here's another defensive card that doesn't use a Sigil. So really good upgrade for this deck. And then this card is not really an upgrade, but it's a card that I think everyone should strongly consider adding to the Earthright decks. And that's this one, Dark Angel Olivia. So it is a neutral. And so basically what she does is she has really poor stats for a 9-drop, but she gives you back 3 evolution points. So the reason she's so good in this deck is because we have a whole bunch of cards that have amazing evolve abilities, right? So we have Levy, you know, which is like one of the best Runecraft cards, pretty much run in every single Runecraft deck. Then we also have, you know, along with Levy, we have Remi and Rami. And then we also have Dwarf Alchemist. And this doesn't really count as an evolve effect, but playing and evolving him on 6 is usually a really huge tempo swing. So you have all these cards that are amazing when evolves, so that's why Olivia is should definitely be considered. So yeah, that is Earth Rune in a nutshell. Oh yeah, another thing I should mention, one card that should always be considered is this one, Kaleidoscopic Glow. This is a card that you normally see in the Spell Boost deck, because it bounces an early game follower and draws you a card, so Cycle's always good, right, when you're playing Spell Boost. But it's really good in this deck for the same reasons, but there's another reason why it's good. It's because you can use it on yourself. So you can use it on your own Smelters, on your own Dwarf Alchemists, or on your own Teachings of Creation, or your own Red Hot Rituals. You can use it on your own Sigil Generators to recycle them. So that's another card to consider using. Haven. So this is Seraph. This is favored as long as we draw Petrify. So I think in this case it's a good idea to keep Petrify, just in case it's Seraph. The other 2 cards are, well, we have one good proactive card in Dwarf Alchemist, and the Red Hot Ritual is a really good reactive card. This is a really good hand. You can answer pretty much anything the Haven player plays. Kaleidoscope is like the most important card probably in this matchup. It's the best way you can deal with a beast called Arya. You can't treat that. Scripture. Sorry about that. So this sets up the turn 5 play with Ancient Alchemist. One of the problems with this deck is sometimes your hand's too full, so that you mill yourself with Ancient Alchemist. But we have it set up perfectly here. It's a lot of value. It's a really, really aggressive play too. Can get a full clear here with Levy, Evolve, use Witch Bolt to draw. Yep. And then Crimson Sorcery. Okay, looks like it's Seraph for not an aggressive Haven list. So since it's not an aggressive deck, we can just go for the grind plan, just fill the board, and then react to what the Haven player does. Denying the draw there. Oh wow, 2 Petrifies. Yep, there it is. So we have the answer. Yeah, that's really what this matchup comes down to. Just you gotta be sure you draw a Petrify before turn 8. Because Seraph Haven usually can't really pressure you that well. So you don't have to worry too much about your life total. Oh my god. Yeah, Taboos. We have an Evolve also. Taboos is the one card that can create huge tempo swings in this deck. We don't even need to attack, because he's going to kill it by himself. That's a persistent effect. Oh, he's out of cards. Yeah, this game's basically over. So, Haven player has 2 cards, we have all the cards in the world, and total board control. Yep. And even the second Petrify in case the second, So going second, you should always keep Remi and Rami. In this case I got a little bit unlucky. I ended up getting 2 in my opening hand, which is not that great. But hey, we got at least 1. There's the ideal turn 1. So this matchup, Dragon, if it's aggro Dragon, then this is favored for Rite Rune. If it's ramp Dragon mid-range, then this is unfavored. Because the main idea is that the Dragon late game is stronger than the Earthright late game. Wow. All 3 Remis. So here I'm not going to trade. We want to slow down the ramp as much as we can. Okay, so here we can get a full clear. We have an evolved Remi and Rami. So this is where Witch Bolt really shines and why it's good in this deck. Because a lot of times, you have evolved followers that get unanswered. Because Remi and Rami is just so good. So I created all those stats and he didn't have a chance to attack the 5-6 here. So we have the activated ability of Witch Bolt that will draw us a card. We can get a full clear here. You could use Kaleidoscope to bounce the Mushusu. Use Witch Bolt on the Ayala, and then trade into the Dragon Warrior. Well, unfortunately, this allows him to ramp, but I think we have to trade into it right now. Could have also used Red Hot Ritual also, but I think the card draw was better in that situation. So here we have another situation where we can clear the whole board. This is 2 health, so that means we can snipe it with Red Hot Ritual. This is 4 health, that means we can Witch Bolt it. So there's a lot of different ways we can do this. I mean, the most clean way is just play Red Hot Ritual and Witch Bolt, but could also be cute. Play Levy, Evolve, and the Witch Bolt to get another card, and then use the Sorcery, maybe? I think that's the play. Yep. So this also allows us to spell boost the face hand. Pretty good position right now. Oh man. Yeah. One of the best parts about Dragon is ramping up and getting an early Olivia. So this is like round 2 for him. That's really scary. Evolve? Yep. So one of the scary things here is that we just used the Petrification to get rid of the Genesis Dragon, because it had no real answer to it. And so we have a really big board now, but the problem is, in my hand, I no longer have any removal. So if he plays another big guy, especially Bahamut, I don't have an answer. I can only play defensively. There's the Bahamut. Oh, yeah. That's why this matchup is hard. Alright, there we go. Levy is really bad. I'm going first. Feels really bad to have to play him for tempo. If this is aggro sword, though, might have to. No turn 1, that's good. There we go. That's a really good reactive tool. We can deal with anything he plays. So in this case, we could kill that with the ritual, but, you know, a 1-1 is not really that threatening. So it's just better to play the teachings to draw another card. Picked up 2 Remis, but not really a good idea to play those without the evolve. So this turn we could play the Remi no evolve for tempo. But since we have the ritual, it's probably better to snipe down the 2-2, and then we can play Remi next turn. Alright, so in this turn we picked up the Curse, that's really good. So now we have a really strong answer to Otohime. If he runs it, the curve play is Alchemist. The problem with Alchemist is that if we do that, we will have a full hand and we'll be forced to mill, because we have 6 cards other than Alchemist. So we have a couple plays here. We could play Levy, Evolve, and then Witch Bolt to draw a card. That's not really very good though, because stat-wise it's very weak. So the highest tempo play is to play Remi and Rami. That puts the most amount of stats on the board. Very, very difficult for him to deal with, because we have the Evolved Remi, and it's protected by a 3/3 ward in this case. So there's no way he's getting through that. So the 5/4 will live. Alright, now we have 6 PP. We could use Curse, but it's probably best to save it. So instead of doing that, we could just do Levy, Evolve, Witch Bolt, draw a card, keep our 5/4 alive, and just push our advantage. Oh, no Levy, that's right. I forgot this was evolved already. Dance of Death. So now we can play Ancient Alchemist. Our hand's full, but we have enough PP to play Guardian. Double swing, wow. So at this point, it kind of looks like my opponent is playing a kind of slow control sword deck. So I mean, the fact that he's playing double whole sword swing kind of tells me that. So if it's control sword, actually it doesn't matter what kind of sword he's playing. He's guaranteed to have Albert, because like that card's like auto-include basically in every sword deck. So a lot of times this matchup comes down to keeping a constant stream of wards up. Because if you don't do that, then once turn 9 comes around, you're always in danger of just Albert smashing you in the face for 10 if they haven't evolved. And that's scary, because right now he still has 2 evolves. If it's aggro sword, you still have to worry about Albert. Although most of the time against aggro, they just drop him 5, just for the storm. But since we're fairly certain this is a control matchup, we just gotta get our wall set up, and we'll be set. Remi Rami. Evolve hit. And we have enough points to drop another board there. Oh yeah, see? Definitely control sword. So he gets almost clear. 3 for 1 with the Alexander, it's sick. This is really dangerous. Now we're at 11 health. So there's a lot of different plays we could do this turn. The really standard on-curve play is to just play Olivia Evolve to get our Evolve points back. The problem with that, again, is that next turn my opponent has 9 play points. That means you could play Albert Evolve to do 10 damage out of hand, and we combine it with the 2/1/1s here, it's enough to kill me. So that means that if we do play Olivia, we're forced to trade into the 1/1s to stay alive. But even then, it's still bad, because it means he could do 10 damage to me. And you know, it's sword, so they have all sorts of ways of doing that last bit of 1 damage, you know, through Storm Minions or Fangblade Slayer. So instead of playing Olivia, we have to play around Albert, and so the better defensive play is to play Juno Secret Laboratory. Just gotta keep putting up the wall of wards. Yep. This kind of plays into Aurelia, if he has it, but we do have answers. There's a third swing. Now I can play Olivia, because the Junos will give us one more at the end of turn. There's Flameblade. That guy's really dangerous. Really high value card, super awkward to deal with, and basically Knuckles. He does... well, he's even better than Knuckles because he's Bane, so he just clears off one of your followers and also deals face damage. So Albert is still a huge threat here. You know, we're at 7 life. At this point, even an unevolved Albert will still put us near death. So, the Junos is guaranteed to give us another ward at the end of turn. It's our last one, so we basically have to clear. But we have to kill this at least. Petrify, to play around the Bane. And then playing Levy here also sets up lethal for next turn. So if he doesn't kill, or if he doesn't wipe my board this turn, then we can send the sorcerer to face for lethal. Weedas. Yeah, he can't get through it.
が炎は神の光だ。さあ戦場をかけましょう。
そんな。あんまりいじめないでね。
これで終わりよ。
私とレミを傷つけるやつは神様だって許しゃしない。
同胞たちの痛みに比べればずっと一緒よ。この剣に誓う、あなたの勝利と栄光を。
可愛いからって甘く見ないでね。
これで決めます。
百花繚乱ってね。
我が忠誠は鋼のごとし。
の身は私が守るやつ。
そんな。
許されざる実験を始めよ。命の秘密を、命の秘密を。行くぞ、信頼がごとく。
覚悟はいいですか。
内陣教と呼ばれるゆえん、見せてやる。これが代償か。
想像以上ね。降参よ。手加減なしよ。本気で行くわ。どうぞお覚悟を。
鈍いな。どうしよう。行くぞ。隊長、任せてください。これが私の果てか。速さが足んねえか。鈍いな。
戦場の匂い素敵ですわ。役目は果たしましたわよ。これで決めるわ。私は真理をつかむ。
私の役目はここまでだ。
しよう。行くぞ。隊長、任せてください。
そんな。
許されざる実験を始めよう。
覚悟はいいかしら。
命を冒涜し救済を呼び覚ます。
これが私の
命の秘密。命の秘密。命の秘密。命の秘密。
お頭の身は私が守れやす。ダメ。これで決めます。お頭にゃ指一本触れさせないよ。
これが代償か。
ごめんよお頭。いざ出陣。戦場の匂い素敵ですわ。
覚悟はいいですか。
全身全霊で叩き切る。私の役目はここまでだ。
さあ戦場をかけましょう。
降伏します。
手加減なしよ。本気で行くわ。
はあはあはあ、肩慣らしを始めるかの。
Just maybe this magic will help.
すっごい魔法試してみようっと。
Couldn't do it after all.
すっごい魔法試してみようっと。
ダメ。
わしはしがない魔法使い
これで決
じゃよ。
めるわ。
若い頃を思い出すわい。
一回の失敗じゃめげないよ。
わしはしがない魔法使いじゃよ。若い頃を思い出すわい。おいぼれにはここが限界じゃの。
ダメ。ダメ。知りたいすべて。覚悟はいいかしら。私は真理をつかむ。
おいぼれにはここが限界じゃの。
Maybe, just maybe this magic will help.
まだ足りないのに。With a bang and a boom!
こ
せるのじゃぞ。
I'll save my daughter.
これで終わりよ。
This sacrilege will save her. Commence experiment.
Couldn't do it
Commence
after all.
experiment. Commence experiment.
I'm lost?
Commence
Yeah,
experiment.
right.
わしの負けじゃな。